Okay. Um, I know this is not a video that most of you are ever expecting from a Transformers Reactivate content creator, all right? But, you know, um I figured that for once I could use my platform as sort of an outlet um and a discussion topic. Uh, I obviously have the face cam up there. I'm not doing a face reveal, but it's I feel like conversations like this are a little bit better when you can see who you're talking to. So, and I'm not just sticking reactivate footage behind it. But obviously, this is going to be a much more serious video than what I usually do. If you're not into that kind of stuff, I totally understand. But this is my channel. I can do whatever the fuck I want. All right. So, thoughts on loss? Why talk about this, right? The day that I'm filming this is October 23rd of 2024. Um and some of you OG fans of mine, you might know that my big brother at the age of 21 last year on October 28th at 8:03 a.m. Uh, he got into a motorcycle accident and he died. Um, and I think that was such a big turning point, and it really shifted my perspective on life. I think sharing my experience could help some of the people who might be going through the same thing. Um, and we're gonna cover like multiple topics, but this is gonna be the main one. Um, First, I think the first thing that should be said is people who tell you that you will eventually get over it. Um, they're fucking lying. You never, you never fully recover from something like that. Losing someone that possibly meant so much to you and was such a big part of your life and was around you for longer than you've even was around for longer than you've even been alive, right? It's a completely different feeling that I don't think anything in the world will ever match. And I know there's people who've lost their mothers or lost their dads and shit like that. It's awful. Um, I don't think anyone will ever truly understand why people are taken from us, especially so early on. I mean, fuck, 21 is practically still a kid in the long run of things. It almost makes you think like what would happen, if what would they have done with the rest of their lives if they got to live it? And it's painful to know that we'll never know. My personal experience with my brother, um, my personal experience with my brother was not technically good. Um, and I I always thought that I'd have more time to fix it. Um, I always just assumed he would be here forever and I'd have all the time in the world to fix what I've done. And things that he's said to me, I've said to him, he's done to me, I've done to him, right? And obviously, being the youngest kid in the family, right? It's really difficult when you lose someone like that because, in a way, my brother taught me things that my father never would have. Um, and that's what brothers are for. It's painful because one of the last encounters that we ever had was was him punching me in the face in a parking lot. Um, yeah, it's like I said, always assumed he would just be there for me to fix it later on down the road. And I think what hurts the most is that I'll never get a chance to fix it and tell him that I can't even remember the last time that I told him I loved him. And if you're going to take anything away from this video, take away the fact that nothing lasts forever. People don't last forever. And it took me a while to be able to talk about things, and I don't even talk about him to my mom or people around me. It's a difficult subject, and I don't think we'll ever truly understand the reasoning for death. You know, your mind goes to a really dark place when something life altering like that happens. And I think the best way to deal with that, if you are going through something similar or even your own experience, I think the best way to get over it, in quotations, you'll never get over it. I'm saying that immediately. You'll never get over it. It can be 20 years and you'll still be living rent free in your head. But allowing yourself time to grieve is important. And I think, obviously, as if you're a dude, I mean, it's hard to show emotion in front of other people. And I get that. But allowing yourself to show emotion and allowing yourself to feel will lighten the load that is on your shoulders just by a little bit. And once you've allowed yourself time to grieve and get to a better mindset, doing something productive in honor of them is a way that I found to be helpful. For me, it was starting my gym career. It was something that, you know, he was interested in back then, and it was something that he was interested in but never got to do and never got the chance. And I thought, why not? Why can't I do it, you know, in honor of him? And I think that is a great way to, I think the gym is a great way to release your anger out of any situation and to honor someone with. Because you're putting that pain and that loneliness that you experienced into something productive that will help you in the long run. It's crazy. My brother left this world thinking that I hated him. And that's never been the case. I always thought he hated me for my entire life. You know, being the annoying younger brother and growing up and with him and being a little bit different than him personality wise. And there was a 5-year age gap. And the 5-year age gap plays a massive role in the bond between a sibling, especially a brother. You're not interested in the same things at the same time, at the same point in time in your life. He graduated school when I was in 7th grade. And it's funny because I thought he was always such a dick to me when I was a little bit younger. But now that he's gone, all I can remember is just the good stuff that he did. I remember this one time, my mom bought me a Lego Batman Batmobile, and I could not complete it. I was maybe 12 years old at the time, and I could not for the life of me put it together. So I got like so fucking frustrated trying to put it together, and I gave up on it. And then, I go to bed. The next morning, I see it fully built, completed, everything on my desk the next morning. And it turns out my brother actually built it for me, which is crazy because he never had done anything meaningful like that to me personally before. And I didn't see it then, but with the clarity that I have now, it was a sign that, no matter what happens between family, I think there's always going to be that bond and that love that you have for each other. And obviously, the big brother bond and love is much different than anything else. It's a lot of quote unquote hate, but deep down, man, they're a different version of you, basically. And I think what I regret the most is taking him for granted so fucking much. Um, I lived with him for my entire life up until 2022. Actually, coincidentally, the same day Transformers Reactivate was announced at Game Awards, December 8th, I got kicked out of my dad's. And I watched it live, living where I am now at my mom's. And I've always had a horrible relationship with my dad. I think he is a selfish, self-centered prick who only cares about himself and money and never cares about his son. And my mom is the complete opposite. It's I put up with living with my dad for so long because I didn't want things to change. And I was also living with my brother at the time, and I could not separate myself from him like that because I've lived with him my whole life. How was I supposed to do that? I think moving out December 8th, being kicked out, was such a shift in my life as well. Um, I, being kicked out, that would mean I'm separated from someone that caused me so much pain in my life, being my dad, who verbally abused me and assaulted me at one point, um, and being separated from my big brother, which even then, like moving out like that, I didn't even talk to him for about 4 months, and I lived in the same fucking house as him. Um, Pains me because he was right there the entire time. He's just down the hall from me, and I couldn't even have the decency to say hi. And I took everything he did for granted, and I don't want any of you to make the same mistake that I did with my life. Even if right now you think you hate someone in your family, I think once they're gone, you will truly realize how much that person means to you. Um, and the last year of my life has been really fucking difficult. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with attachment issues on my behalf. And this is where, these, the topic might switch up a little bit. Um, I'm sorry if none of this makes any sense. I'm just yapping away, but um, relationships is something that has altered my mood, personality, and made a shift in my life as well. Um, And these two things happen back to back, and it sucks. It really sucks. So a little bit of backstory, I guess, might be required. I've never been with anyone my entire life up until around February, beginning of 2024, this year. Um, I've never gotten close with anyone before, and that's because I have such massive attachment issues that if I get attached to someone, I make them my entire world. And that made it even harder when this one girl that I finally open up to and I share my life with completely breaks my heart. So not only do I have my brother's death to worry about, but a few months later after that, I meet a girl who will change me in worse ways. Um, it's hard to talk about because I've never loved anyone the way I loved her. And that feeling just, it was reciprocated at one point. It was, until it wasn't. That's the best way I can explain it. I think something that I personally need to learn, and maybe you guys could learn as well, is that letting go is the best option for a lot of things. Um, Learning to let go is the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do in my life. Because since I've never had that kind of love in my life before, I got so attached and addicted to the feeling of finally being loved by someone where I let it blind me and I let it consume me completely and I let it define who I was. Um, and that's not good. That's not healthy for you. It completely ruined my life. But yeah, I met this girl and she was there was just that feeling, that spark of you just know it, right? You just know it when you see it. And obviously, I've never been in a relationship before, so it was a completely addicting feeling for me and I never wanted to let it go. So, I did everything I could to keep her around. And I me and her would feel the same way about each other, She liked me first before I even knew about her. I didn't even know about her existence until I saw her one day and I knew she was one. She was not she was who I wanted to be with. But I don't, I don't understand how people's feelings can change so quickly about someone. If you truly love someone, how can you just throw that feeling away within days? And um, I I think if you truly love someone, that love will never fade away. And I remember she told me that I would move on and I would find someone else that's better than her, that I deserve someone who appreciates me for me. And she told me that she can't offer me what I deserve. And I get it. But I think if you truly love someone, you can make it work with anyone. It doesn't matter who they are, what they do. You can make it work. I guess I was the only one willing to try. But, life happens and things change, people change, feelings change. Mine never changed, hers did. And that's where that thing of letting go comes in. Um, I let her destroy my mood for weeks. Um, and then one day, I just told myself, that's enough. That's enough moping around and fucking just staying there feeling sorry for myself. And I realized that one day I had to let her go. And I think it is true that if you truly love someone, you will let them go. If you truly want them to be happy, letting go of them is the best option if it doesn't work between you. Um, and it sucks. It really sucks because the first love, sometimes it does work, but some other times it's a tragic story. It's it feels really different for me because I've never had that kind of love before. I've always craved that attention from someone, and she was the only girl that would ever offer it for me. And I told her I told her all these things, and I told her that I she was interested in things that I wanted to do and things that I would actually be doing at the time. I told her for her birthday that I'd buy her a skateboard and I would teach her how to ride because she knew how much I love skateboards and how much I love that hobby. And she wanted me to teach her. She wanted me to teach her surfing. Um, and it's heartbreaking because I'll never get to do that. I'll never get to share that passion with someone who means so much to me because I had to let her go. But yeah, in 5 days as of recording this, um, it will be my brother's death anniversary, and I think yeah, I'm the only reason I'm recording this is because I feel like I just need to talk about it. And don't get me wrong, I have wonderful people to talk about it with. I have Luna, especially. Some of the shit that he's gone through personally, it really touched my heart, and I could relate to what happened to him before. And I have people like J Doc, my friend group, uh, Sean, Vincent, Geo, um, John, all of those people. They've been there for me for the last 10, almost 8 years of my life. Um, Half of my life, that friend group has been there for me. In the last 2 years, DBZ Luna has been there for me, and I think I wouldn't be in the state of mind that I am right now without those people. They have helped me more than I think anyone could ever comprehend. They were all there for me, and that's how you know you found good ones is when they're there for you at your worst, and they take pride in having you at your best. You always think you're alone when things like a death in the family happens or heartbreak. But the truth is, someone has had the exact same experience as you before. And it's never it's never worth it to take your life either. Um, I know it's um, male suicides from last year, I think were up 4 times than usual. And that's really saying something because in today's day and age, um, men men fucking suffer but we don't talk about it with anyone. And we have no one to talk to about it. Um, I believe 2023, I think over 50,000 men committed suicide. And, that's terrible because people should have an outlet to bring, people should have an outlet to talk to about their problems and their feelings and what makes them feel that way. And I know there's a thing of, oh, well, why not just go to therapy? In most of the world's opinion, it's not socially acceptable for a man to seek out mental health advice from a random stranger. And that's what often leads to so many men committing suicide every year. Every year the number goes up higher and higher. And that is such a terrible thing that happens. And it's because, and it truly is because of how we are as a society, that men are just put on the back burner, I feel like, when it comes to mental health. And a lot of us suffer things that no one even knows about. Um, this has been the most stressful year of my life. It's changed me, and I even filmed a goodbye video for my TFReaper channel. Um, if you guys will ever see that, probably not. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. I was gonna quit this. That's how fucked up I was. That's the kind of shit that love and heartbreak will do to you. It'll make you not think straight. And I think the best advice I can give is, yes, allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve loss and heartbreak, but don't let it consume you fully, and don't let it take over your life. I like something that helped me, obviously, again, was the gym. Taking taking out all of that emotion and anger out and putting it into something productive automatically makes you feel better. It might be for a short period of time, it might be temporary, but it's still better than just sitting in bed moping around all day. And I love this girl, but now looking back, she wasn't the one. She wasn't the one for me, and there's a plan for everyone. I think some people come in our lives not to stay, but to teach us lessons that we wouldn't have otherwise learned. And I've definitely learned my fair share of lessons, whether it be from the experience with my brother or experiences with my first love. Please, if you have um, any bad thoughts, call the number in the description below. That is a suicide hotline prevention, and please use that if you are ever feeling low. It's, but yeah, I know this isn't a video that no one really expected, but again, I think things like this, I just need to talk about and put it in the air and just let it go, let it all out for once. But yeah, if anything from this video, letting go letting go is a great option. And it's the hardest thing to do. But I think maybe I've yapped on for a little too long. And I'm sorry if this video is super random, all over the place, didn't make any sense. Probably didn't make any sense. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Um, if you've made it this far, thank you. I really fucking appreciate it. Um, I don't know if comments will be turned on this or not. If they are, feel free to share your experiences. I will reply to every comment down there just to talk to you guys. Or if you want, privately DM me on Twitter. I have my DMs open. So other than that, it's been TFReaper. I'll see you always later.
I love her, that's the sad part. She took me for granted just because we had a fast start. These niggas are not like me, they just act, they do not have heart. I could've saved your life and you fucked up, girl, that's a bad start. I'm really one of a kind, I could've changed up a life.